No, I don't do nothing.
Okay.
No, I don't do nothing. I'm clean and sober. February 13th, 4 years.
That's amazing, yo. Congrats. Does it feel do you ever reminisce on just using, and how does your life feel now versus how it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago? How does it feel to like live day by day when you were so accustomed for so many years of using, and now you're not doing anything? You probably have a whole different style of life, whole different style of thinking, whole different style of everything. How is that?
I do, and you know what? I thought it would be hard. Like in the past, when I was younger, it was hard to get clean. If I went to jail or went to these couple programs, it was always on my mind. But I think, to be honest, this time around, dude, I was just so tired of it and just so beat up. And I was, I'm 52, so 3.5 years, so I was 49, whatever. Like, I'm just getting too old for that shit. And I just thought I always had to be high, drinking or something to have fun. And just by giving it a chance, and like, Scummy was a big part of that motorcycle dude, because he had relapsed, and so we were in there together. And he got me to start riding motorcycles, and like we were shooting guns, and I would go skate and like doing stuff, clean and sober. And dude, I was having a blast. We were having the best time, and I was like, dude, this is fucking cool. And I wake up and I remember everything. I'm fucking healthy. Like I don't have to stress on like driving by a cop and them staring at me, because I get stared at a lot from the way I look. And fuck, dude, where am I need an escape route, because I was always doing something wrong. But now I can look them in the eyes, get pulled over, I got a license, I got insurance, I got a registered vehicle, like I don't ever have to like fucking worry about nothing no more. I'm not doing nothing wrong, and it was just giving it a chance. And I think it was just easy this time. And it's also boundaries, like just surround myself with good people that are doing good things. I got my homie Gary, my sponsor Josh. Like, these are just solid dudes that have been doing it for a long time, and they have been through some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And they do it. I'm like, man, they can do it. I could do it, And then when I got sober, like Steve-O reached out to me. I threw it through, like, dude, I'm proud of you. I had relapsed after that, but when I was clean for those few months, the 5 months or whatever, like, he reached out, like, dude, I'm stoked for it, like, that meant a lot. And we became friends. And I just talked to him yesterday. And so it was cool to get, like, fucking too proud. It was just a good feeling to be like, instead of like, oh, you motherfucker, you did this last night drinking, like you fucked with, or whatever, like shit gives me anxiety now, confrontation. I was all about it before, but so yeah, I just think this time around it was just a lot easier. I was just so beaten down, that I just was over it, man. I needed something different. I just surrendered. I'm like, I'm gonna do, my way wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And New Origins was just like, that was it right there, man. That was just like the green light to get clean and sober.
How old were you? You're saying that you used to think that it wasn't possible, that you'd never be clean,
Yeah.
because you're using for so long. How old were you when you first started using? Like, what was the span of years?
I started smoking weed, I think, when I was like, the first time, I think I was like in fourth grade. Like, the neighbor was like, he was like, this is the 70s, so there's like some like neighbor. He was like a stoner hippie dude, and he'd walk by smoking weed. Like, I was out my front yard, and I remember him giving me a little hit. But I was so young, I don't remember being high. But like sixth, seventh grade, I had like a babysitter. Like, my mom, when she'd work, she was a bartender. Rest in peace, so she was always working. And so I hung out with these dudes that were into punk rock and skating and stuff, and they would drink, do mushrooms. So like, I would say like sixth grade, I was doing mushrooms and smoking weed and drinking.
It's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
It's like it's normalized, but low key, that shit's kind of heavy.
Well, you look back at it now. You look at kids now that are in like in sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
Yeah,
how old is that? 11 years old or some shit?
Yeah, dude. Like I was young.
Young.
And these dudes were taking me to punk rock shows. Dude, I seen every punk rock band you could think of, because they were good. The guys that would look out for me, my mom knew them, But I mean, I was partying, but like they weren't getting in trouble. We were just going to partying and going to punk rock shows and stuff. But yeah, sixth grade, and like doing mushrooms. I remember tripping out and smoking weed. We popped some pills. I don't know. They're called robin eggs or something. I forgot what they were. Like some opiates or something back then. And then I got into like drinking, and smoking weed and doing acid and cocaine. Then I got into like crank, like it was like before meth, like the ice or whatever, it was like bikers made it or whatever. So I was doing that all through high school. I'd take it with me to school, and so it was like pretty much my whole life. You know what I mean? And then
And so your whole skate career too was kind of,
yeah,
it was on that too.
and I could hold it together for a while, and then like I had some friends I grew up with in Santa Cruz that like started like getting into smoking. We would do coke, but they started smoking it. So I do that. Like when I come back from skateboard trips, I'd go say what's up to them, hang out with them in between going on my skateboard trips or whatever, and do it with them. And then I remember one time one of my homies, I came back to hang out with them, and they were doing heroin, and I had broken my foot, so I had been like injured, so I was just had this downtime. So I was just hanging out with them, and I started doing that, and I got hooked. Like as soon as I did it, I just kept doing it. Just like I smoked weed and drink, and was doing blow and all the other stuff. But you get addicted to heroin pretty fast, And I got caught up in that, and it just like stuck with me for like almost 20 years or something, So it's just been my life. That was my life forever. In like the prime of my skating. Like I fucking ditched out on Julian and Cardiel, these guys that I was Joey, these guys I was really close with, and picked drugs over fucking these dudes that fucking were my true friends. It just snatched me up. Then I was just getting so fucked up, I didn't want to show my face to them. I was ashamed and whatever. Then I started going to jail, come out, and I'd hit them up. They'd always take me back, like come skate, like. They were always there for me, and then I fuck up again. Dude, I had done it a million times with them, but they were always right. Like Julian, like I can't thank him enough, and Jim Thiebaud. These guys, like, they just cared about me, man. Yeah, and I just fucking couldn't stay away from the drugs, man. It just fucking snatched me up.
Do you feel like someone using, or at least your personal experience using, while you're in the mix of it, and do you feel like that's even you? Like you now versus you then, like do you feel like this is the real you, that's another person influenced by this crazy substance?
Yeah, it started turning me even more into like I was when I was drinking, I was like turn into an asshole. Like a lot of people like loved me, but I just loved being. The skating was different back then. It was just like I had my little circle of friends, and we kind of just stuck together. So we didn't really fuck with anybody else. There was some, but like we had our crew, and that was it. So like anyone that wasn't like into what we were doing, fuck you, I'd zero in on them and fuck with them. And that was from the drinking. And then obviously when I started getting on drugs and had to start like stealing and, what I mean? And then I'm lying to people, and then I just like disappeared from like my true friends, So it turned me into like even a worse person, like. But I know that wasn't really me, and I just always had to be crazy and wild, and I don't know, man. Because I'm older too, I mellowed out, and I'm just more open-minded, like fuck, man, I was a dick. Like people are just into what they're into, like everyone's a skateboarder. Like even if they don't like skate the same way I like or terrain, whatever it is, they're still skating. They're skateboarders, man. They're doing it, Like, but I would just fuck with anybody that wasn't like how I liked it or was doing it, you know. But yeah, it just made me into a bad person, man. Lying a lot, It was so many lies, and just like I'd disappear. Like I wouldn't even come around. I was just running the streets, just hanging out with sketchy people. But it was the lying that was, but and just not being a good friend, So yeah, it's just now that I'm clean and sober, like I just want to not be like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would rather be friends with people than have confrontations and fucking give back to what I did from my past.